Public Relations Officer Katelyn is here to speak to you regarding the issue of food safety.
Katelyn, I have a question. What impacts do food safety regulations have on the producer and then also on the consumer?
Food safety is for all restaurants and all producers that handle food, it's a very big part of how, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What impacts do food safety regulations have on the producer, but also on the consumer?
Okay. Food safety regulations are very big for the producer because if they don't follow specific regulations, then they're going to possibly make people sick, which could lead to lawsuits and could lead to deaths and could lead to a lot of things that the producer does not want to go through. And food safety is also good for the consumer because if the producer does not follow specific regulations, then the consumer can then get sick and they might not buy their product anymore, which would lead to a decrease in sales for the producer.
Can you give a specific example of a consumer product recall in the past 3 years and why?
Tomatoes, I know that was one, I think. Tomatoes and spinach.
And why were tomatoes and spinach recalled?
It could have been, I'm not entirely sure why, but I know E. coli is a big foodborne illness that deals with like lettuce and stuff like that. And if it's let out for too long, then the E. coli can start to grow on the food. And as for the tomatoes, possibly, I'm not entirely sure why, but it could be the way they were grown or the way they were kept. If tomatoes and fresh food are not stored in proper temperatures or proper ways, or not transported the right way, then they can pick up foodborne illnesses and potentially infect people and cause death and bad stuff.
All right, I got a question for you. Is there a standard test that all foods must pass, or is it like more product specific?
Well, there are 4 different things that you want to follow with food safety. The first is you want to handle it correctly, and if you don't handle it correctly, obviously something's going to happen to it. You want to chill foods that are cold and keep foods warm that are warm. And you want to cook meat to certain temperatures and make sure that it's at the right temperature, or else it's going to be either rare and people can get sick from that. And the FDA and the FSI, which is Food Safety Inspection Agency, they check the meat and poultry and stuff like that before it goes out. And the FDA is basically for all other foods and drugs. And and for expiration dates, most foods will have expiration dates, but the federal law does not require them.
Thank you.